Hey everybody, I'm Corbin Holland, and I'm interviewing McKenna over here. And we're gonna ask her about some gender roles in society. Alrighty, McKenna. So I got one question for you right now. How do roles of men and women differ in your family?
In my family?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think it's probably a little bit different in my family just because I was raised in a household where my mom was the breadwinner and my dad was a stay-at-home dad.
Okay.
But I think that's not the norm. And in most families, the
Yeah,
mom is the stay-at-home mom,
I can
and
agree on that.
dads kind of have to.
Well, like in my family, well, whenever I was little, my mom and dad they both had to work a lot, and so there was no real like breadwinner, quote unquote. But my mother was usually the one that took care of me or the one cleaning or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I can
Yeah,
totally
even when the mom is working full time, I still feel like she has the responsibility of like housework and
right.
cooking, cleaning, taking care of the kids.
Exactly. All right, move on to the next question. Let's see. Is there any difference between men and women drivers?
Um, well, I think it depends on the person, but for the most part, I would say, yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of the men that I drive with tend to just be more aggressive
that's me, guys. Sorry.
and kind of think that they have control of the road, so
Uh-huh.
they don't really take into account other
We're
people.
definitely more aggressive.
Mhm.
I can agree on that. At least in my experience. Though I have met some women drivers that are pretty they're like, you
Yeah,
know.
no. I just feel like for the most part, women are more like passive about it.
Yeah.
When someone cuts them off, it's like,
It's like
whatever.
yeah, I got you on that. Alrighty. Next question. In your society, is there some behaviors that are only seen as appropriate for men and women?
Yeah.
Like what? What can you give me any examples?
Um, well, I think that one thing that comes to mind is it's okay for women to be very affectionate with each other.
Mm-hmm.
So, like hugs and
Right.
kisses, like texting all the time. But for
Right.
guys, that's not okay. Like, guys can't really hug their friends without it
Right.
being weird.
When guys do it, it's quote unquote gay. We come off as being gay if we do that.
Yeah.
Guys aren't supposed to have any feelings. That's
Hmm.
stupid. What do you call it? That's stupid.
It's like a stereotype.
Stereotype. Thank you.
Hmm.
That's stereotype on society. Right. Exactly. It's ridiculous. All right. Next question. In what aspects of life is it easier to be a girl/woman? And how about a boy/man?
Okay, well, I think it's easier to be a girl
Okay.
because you are, well, kind of going off the last question, it's easier for you to show your emotions.
Right.
Like, if you're upset or angry, like,
Right.
girls are kind of expected to show their emotions, so if
Right.
they're not okay, then it's fine.
And guys are expected to just be like, stone cold people that have
Mhm.
zero emotion because,
Yeah.
guys have to be strong, quote unquote,
Yeah, so if a guy's upset about something, they're just seen as, like, weak,
Exactly. Yeah.
which is not true. But I think it's easier to be a guy just because you don't have to fear like your physical safety.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like it's a subconscious thing that a lot of girls do is they're always worried about like who's around the corner, like
Right.
what's gonna happen.
Who's maybe following you? Who's that creepy
Yeah.
dude across the way?
Yeah, even though guys may not even realize
Yeah.
that they're like kind of freaking out the girls around them.
Right.
Girls are just always on alert
Right. Right.
about like
Yeah, it makes sense, man. In today's society, you don't know there's so many people in the world. There's that one in however many million people that are just that creepy guy. So, or maybe it's even a smaller number than that. So, it's always best to be on your toes rather than, not.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree on that completely. Okay, next question. Is one gender unable to see, quote unquote, unwashed dishes or unmade beds? Or is one gender more tidy than the other? What do you think?
more tidy.
Yeah, like more clean, more everything's like more organized or whatever, picked up.
Okay, well, again, I think it depends on the person,
Mm-hmm.
but I think that guys sometimes, even if they see it, they just know that somebody else may do it. So they're like, well, even if the dishes are dirty,
Yeah.
they know that their like girlfriend may just wash the dishes or something
Right,
like that.
right.
And I think that girls are generally more like
Mhm.
organized, whereas guys don't tend to care about stuff like where it goes and
I can kind of agree on that. Uh, I mean, I think it's just it depends on the person entirely. Like,
Oh yeah.
like some people, like I know a lot of guys that are just like clean freaks, and I know a lot of guys that are absolute pigs. So I personally am kind of in the middle. I'm a little. My room's not very neat, but I like to try and keep my cooking area a little cleaner.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. Next question. Would you rather have a female or male secretary?
Okay, well, again, I think it depends, like, who the person is.
Okay.
Like, you would have to know the person.
Okay.
But, I mean, probably I'm biased because female, just because from my experience, females are more organized, more, like, on time, things like that.
Yeah.
And also, I just feel like I work better with females.
Right.
I tend to be more on guard when
You think it's
working.
because like it's easier? Since you're a girl, it's easier to work with other girls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Makes sense. Would you rather have a male or female boss?
Again, I think female.
Yeah.
Because I currently have a female boss.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm more likely to go to her when, like, I need time off or
Right.
if I'm not feeling well and need to go home.
I agree on that too. Yeah, because I've had both male and female bosses, and going up to the male bosses, they're like, "Why do you have to get off? Like, why?
Yeah.
What's the point? You
It's
know?"
more intimidating.
Right,
for
they're
sure.
much more intimidating. And then you have female bosses that are like, yeah, sure, of course, I understand. It's like
Mhm.
female bosses seem to be more understanding than male bosses, but
I feel like male bosses, they tend to just focus on, like, the work.
Mhm.
So, like, you come here to
Yeah,
work,
you co-
like, we're not building a relationship.
Exactly.
Whereas, like, female bosses, like, I have a relationship with my boss. and
Exactly.
she's like, well, how's your family? Like, she always is concerned about
Of
other
course.
stuff instead of just the work.
Of course, of course. Next question. Do you think that the way someone is raised can affect their gender identity?
Yeah.
You think so?
Mhm.
Do you have a reason why, or just...
Well, to a certain extent, I think that people, like, are who they are.
Yeah.
And no matter how they were raised or, like, the circumstances to their upbringing, they're going to turn out roughly how they were meant to be.
Right.
But I definitely think that, like, the values that are instilled in you when you're, like, little
Mhm.
definitely play a part in, like, how you grow up and how you decide to do basically anything. So
Yeah,
it's
of
going to
course.
have an impact on,
Of course.
you know?
We're kind of going off that. One of my best friends, he lives out in L.A. He's trans, so female to male. He whenever he was little, he was telling me that that his parents he personally never seemed to really get the difference between like men and women. Never really saw a difference between the two, and so he always associated himself with men, and he identified as a male even at a young age, but just like subconsciously, until he hit a certain point where people were like, you need to wear dresses, you need to have long hair, you need to have all this and that because you're a girl. He was like, wait, what? That's not who I am, though. And then that's once he got older and learned about, and the trans movement got bigger and bigger, as it got more awareness. That's when he realized, oh man, I'm trans, and
Yeah.
I think it's because his parents didn't really enforce that idea of there's a difference between men and women, But yeah, that's that. Next question. Which gender studies the most? Hard question, right?
Yeah, well, I think it could be either, but
Yeah.
I guess just from, like, my experience of being in, like, school and stuff,
Mhm.
I would say women.
Women.
Just because,
Men are more stubborn. They just think they know everything already.
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Speak from experience right here.
like, girls tend to, whenever I was in, like, a study group or anything like that, it was predominantly female, so.
And I like going off on that. Women also seem to be more, what do you call it? More, like you said earlier, like organized. Like they have a better understanding of what needs to get done during that said study session or whatever,
Right.
So I think that also plays a big part in that too. So, awesome. Next question. Last question, actually. You ready? Which gender gossips the most?
Female.
Female, yeah.
100%. I work with all girls.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny that you say that. All the girls I work with at work they also all gossip with me. You know, they come up to me and tell them gossip or whatever. And all the guys, we don't really talk about that kind of stuff. You know, mostly we'll just talk about random work stuff or dumb things we've done in the last few days or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
And sometimes if like we're having like a frustrating night and something's like frustrating us, we'll talk about that. But otherwise, we don't really like gossip about anybody. So
Yeah. Well, I think like for girls,
Yeah.
sadly, it's like a way to bond. So girls
bonding
like
moment, yeah.
they bond over like gossiping about other people and things, whereas guys tend to bond over like common interests.
Yeah,
So I
Right.
try to steer away from that, but it's definitely hard.
it's hard.
It's like we don't know, not to be like, you know,
Yeah.
the stereotypes, but
Of course, yeah.
girls just definitely, I don't know.
Hey, at least you own up to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
All right, cool. Well, that concludes this interview, guys, with McKenna.